The sun cast its gentle rays upon the grove as the Buddha sat beneath the shade of a large tree. Disciples gathered, their robes rustling softly as they settled, awaiting the wisdom of the Blessed One to guide them. Master, we encounter wondrous devices that seem to connect distant hearts. Yet they deepen distractions. What wisdom guides us now? The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, breathing deeply as if to gather the essence of the moment. Every morning, he rose before the sun, his body aching, yet his heart heavy with resentment for his struggles. His crops depended on the mercy of rain, his shelter fragile against the fury of storms and nature's whims. His gaze softened as he scanned the curious faces before him, their minds eager to grasp his teaching. These devices, he continued, offer connection, yet often foster separation. They promise clarity, yet breed confusion when used without mindfulness. The sound of a rustling breeze accompanied his words, as the disciples leaned closer in attentive stillness. It takes and it gives, indifferent to our joy or despair, yet always fulfilling its purpose, the hermit continued. If you focus only on what it takes, you miss seeing all that it gives, the hermit advised gently. The Buddha nodded, acknowledging the weight of her confession. These thoughts you describe, do they serve any purpose? Anaya? She looked up, startled by the simplicity of his question. The devices you speak of hold no inherent evil. They are tools, born of human ingenuity and effort. Yet, the challenge lies not in their existence but in their influence over the mind, he said. Eyes meeting Ananda's. Just as a craftsman controls his chisel, so too must one master these tools. Ananda nodded, his expression reflective, as though already pondering the implications of the Buddha's words. When the last drop merged into the river, Kunda felt a lightness, a shift in his perspective that surprised him. The hermit smiled and spoke softly. Gratitude is not found in abundance but in the mindfulness of life's essence. Instead, regard these devices as waves, rising and falling, while your awareness remains the still ocean beneath. The murmuring of the nearby brook seemed to harmonize with his words. As the disciples listened, their attention unwavering. Ananda, he addressed the disciple directly. Be not ensnared by Mara's nets that take new forms with each age. Practice the middle way. When you open your eyes to the small miracles of existence, even suffering transforms into a teacher, not a tormentor. The sun rises not because we command it but as a gift of life, sustaining all without discrimination. Every breath is a reminder of impermanence, a fleeting yet profound gift that invites us to cherish its passing moment. The food you eat is born of countless hands, from the farmer to the earth itself, giving without expecting return. Even adversity teaches, shaping resilience and revealing strength unknown until the challenges demand its awakening within you, Buddha explained. One disciple, seated closest, raised his voice, asking, Master, how do we train our hearts to see such gratitude daily? Buddha smiled, the corners of his lips gently lifting, and responded, Begin with what you have now, however humble it seems. Each morning, before you rise, reflect on 3 gifts the new day offers. Perhaps the air, the shelter, or companionship. Practice this daily, and you will see how the habit transforms your heart, making gratitude a natural companion, Buddha instructed. Like a seed growing into a mighty tree, gratitude takes root in small beginnings but grows vast and encompassing, Buddha said. His disciples listened intently, their own hearts stirring as they reflected on the simple yet profound practice suggested by the Buddha. The afternoon sun began to wane, casting long shadows across the grove, a reminder of the impermanence of all things. As the session concluded, the disciples rose, their spirits uplifted, determined to begin each day anew with gratitude's clarity. The Buddha remained seated beneath the tree, his presence as still and eternal as the truths he had shared. Another day, the Buddha walked alongside his disciples. The evening air serene as the sun dipped below the horizon. One disciple approached, his voice hesitant but yearning. "Master, how can gratitude exist when the present moment feels unbearably painful?" The Buddha halted, his gaze steady and compassionate, his robe fluttering softly in the light breeze of the twilight hour. "Let me share the story of Punna, a merchant who faced great loss, yet discovered the treasure within his suffering," Buddha began. Punna lived as a prosperous man, his wealth abundant and his reputation esteemed among traders in the vibrant marketplace. Buddha said, "One fateful night, a fire engulfed his warehouse, devouring his goods, leaving him destitute and unable to rebuild his fortune. His heart heavy with grief, Punna wandered aimlessly for days, clutching a charred piece of wood from the wreckage." Buddha continued. His eyes refused to see the flowers blooming nearby, his ears deaf to the songs of birds greeting each morning's light. "These devices," he said, "are like such reflections, not reality but representations shaped by perception and impermanence." His words lingered in the air like the fading light, holding within them an essence of timeless truth. The flowering shrub and seeds of wheat remained etched in his memory, guiding his teachings with vivid imagery and wisdom. Through his journey, Ananda learned that his path, unique yet intertwined with others, was a gift beyond comparison. The Buddha's wisdom transcended time, speaking to countless hearts, nurturing the garden of unity and contentment within each soul. Each moment became a testament to the truth the Buddha imparted, echoing through the silence of mindful acceptance. "The middle way," he repeated, "guides us to neither grasp nor push away but to meet the world with equanimity and insight." His voice seemed to harmonize with the rustling leaves, nature itself echoing the rhythm of his teachings. When suffering arises, it reveals what remains: lessons, resilience, kindness, and the opportunity to rise once again. Buddha continued gently, "Consider your breath. Even in anguish, the air nourishes your body, sustaining life against the tides of adversity." Buddha taught. Ananda's story remains a reminder that life's interconnected tapestry thrives in the beauty of individual paths flourishing in harmony. The Buddha's wisdom continues to guide countless souls, echoing truths of existence and nurturing gardens of unity within them. As the night descended upon the grove, the fireflies appeared, their gentle glow a reminder of impermanence and the light within. The disciples departed, carrying the Buddha's wisdom as a lantern to illuminate their path amidst the shadows of Mara's illusions. Begin each day by bowing to the present moment, not demanding change but welcoming what gifts it may hold, Buddha said. Strengthen your practice by noticing the small treasures: a smile, a meal, a quiet moment, and offering gratitude in response. Buddha added. Master, the merchant began. This box unites distant souls through images, bringing joy and wonder to those who gaze upon it. Buddha gazed at the box thoughtfully, his eyes reflecting compassion as he gestured for the merchant to step closer. They watched the Buddha walk further toward the riverbank, his presence calm, the silence between his words resonating deeply within. The Buddha turned, observing the disciples with a smile that spoke of boundless wisdom, his serenity unwavering despite the evening's descent. This box, Buddha began, is a mirror that reflects the outer world but also shapes the inner mind of those who use it. His words carried the weight of timeless wisdom, urging both disciples and the merchant to reflect deeply on their intentions. The disciples bowed in reverence, their hearts inspired to carry the Buddha's teachings into their days. Come joy or sorrow, the light waned as stars emerged, glimmering against the dark canvas of night, their eternal dance a quiet hymn to existence. Another day, The Buddha and his disciples visited a village plagued by strife, where arguments over shared resources divided the community deeply. The villagers gathered by the riverbank, their voices raised in anger, their hearts heavy with the burden of unresolved grievances. His words carried the essence of equanimity, guiding the hearts of those gathered toward clarity and balance. The merchant bowed his head, humbled by Buddha's insight, feeling a flicker of both wonder and responsibility for his creation's impact. The Buddha gestured toward the river and spoke, "This river nourishes all life, asking nothing in return for its infinite generosity." He dipped his hands into the water, lifting it as it trickled through his fingers. "Should we not strive to emulate it?" Another villager replied, his tone defensive. "But Master, if I give freely, others will exploit my kindness, leaving my family vulnerable." The Buddha observed the villagers, his presence calm, his words measured. True abundance arises not from hoarding but from interconnected care. "Let me tell you the story of a tree that bore fruit for all, regardless of their merit or behavior," Buddha said. "There was once a great banyan tree, its branches wide, its roots deep, its fruit abundant, nurturing all who approached." Buddha continued. "Rich merchants rested beneath its shade. Weary travelers replenished their energy. Even animals found sustenance within its generous embrace. One stormy night, its branches were battered by fierce winds, and its roots trembled under the weight of relentless rains. The villagers, concerned, attempted to harvest its remaining fruits, fearing the tree would fall and its gifts would disappear forever. Despite their efforts, the tree bore fruit again when the skies cleared, resilient and unwavering in its purpose to give freely." Buddha paused, his disciples and villagers silent, his words resonating like ripples spreading across the surface of still water. This tree did not withhold its offerings, even when broken by storms or human hands. It served without expectation, Buddha said. When gratitude extends beyond oneself to all beings, it nurtures harmony, dispelling fear and cultivating trust within a community, Buddha taught. Generosity born from gratitude recognizes the interconnectedness of life, seeing not competition but collaboration as the path to true sustenance, Buddha explained. One villager asked hesitantly, "Master, how can we share when scarcity tempts us to protect what little we possess?" The Buddha turned to him, his gaze unwavering, and replied, "Scarcity is often an illusion when hearts embrace compassion and gratitude alike. When each person gives what they can, the collective abundance surpasses individual gain, fostering shared joy rather than isolated fear," Buddha said. Begin with small acts, offering water to a neighbor, a meal to the hungry, or kindness to the troubled, Buddha instructed. Practice generosity daily, trusting the ripple effect, and you will see how gratitude multiplies abundance beyond your imagination, Buddha encouraged. Gently, the villagers exchanged glances, their expressions softened, their anger replaced by curiosity, pondering the possibility of a community united by gratitude. One disciple observed quietly, "Master, these teachings are challenging for those accustomed to survival amidst scarcity." The Four Noble Truths, Buddha said, endure regardless of creation or invention, guiding beings toward liberation from the cycles of suffering. He turned to the merchant, adding, "Let your creation serve not to distract but to illuminate, cultivating wisdom and fostering kindness wherever it reaches. Trust in the law of impermanence, for even scarcity is transient, replaced by abundance when hearts embrace giving without hesitation," Buddha added. The disciples felt a deep stirring within, their resolve strengthened to practice gratitude not only individually but as a collective force. "Let this serve as your compass," Buddha concluded. Engage with these tools skillfully, balancing clarity and compassion, without grasping or rejecting. The merchant departed with a renewed sense of responsibility, carrying Buddha's teachings as a lantern to illuminate his path in creation. He turned to his disciples, his gaze filled with light, and said, "Just as this river nourishes freely, so must we extend gratitude beyond the self to all beings. And you will find your suffering diminished, your joy magnified," Buddha encouraged softly. As evening fell, the villagers began their journey back, hearts lighter, their minds reflecting upon the profound lessons shared that day. The Buddha and his disciples walked further along the riverbank, their steps deliberate, their silence filled with the richness of purpose. The stars emerged gradually, shimmering in the night sky, each one a reminder of interconnected brilliance woven across the fabric of existence. The Buddha paused beneath the shade of a willow tree, his presence radiating peace, his teachings anchored within his disciples' hearts. Buddha opened his eyes slowly, his gaze steady and filled with compassion. Seeing their troubled minds reflected in their expressions, the world, Buddha began, is always in flux, transforming in ways both visible and unseen. Yet the Dharma remains unchanging. His voice carried a timeless calm, grounding those present amidst their swirling thoughts of impermanence and distraction. A disciple asked cautiously, "Master, how can the Dharma guide us in using these devices without straying from the path of wisdom?" Buddha looked upon him with patience and replied, "The Dharma guides us through equanimity, balancing engagement with mindfulness and refraining from attachment to transient forms." Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.